Welcome to day 3 of our virtual learning lessons. So Pythagorean theorem within shapes is what we are working with today. So we're going to find the missing side length, or the hypotenuse if necessary, of a right triangle. Within the shape, find the right triangle, then use the Pythagorean theorem. So the hardest part typically is finding that right angle. Okay, so if you look right here, our example states a 50-meter rope is attached inside an empty cylindrical wheat silo with a diameter of 12 meters as shown. How high is the wheat silo? Okay, so I have over here, I put a little example just to kind of identify the different parts of the cylinder. So if you go from top to bottom, just straight down, that's going to be your height. Now, of course, that height is going to be all the way around that cylinder. Okay, then we have the radius. Now remember, if we're just looking at a circle, a radius is only halfway through. Okay, but if we're looking for a full side length, as it says right here, we're going to need the diameter. So this one does give that full diameter. All right, so we're going to go ahead and identify that right triangle inside here. Okay, so, and this is similar to the one that is on your example page. So this right here is going to be your right triangle. Okay, so knowing that, I know that the rope, which goes from here to here, again within the silo, it goes from one edge and then you're going to the opposite. All right, so then this right here is a measure of 50 meters. Okay, this right here, this diameter is 12. So right here is going to be equal to down here, which is 12 meters. Okay, so what you're trying to find is how high the wheat silo is. So our unknown value is this here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically pull out this triangle, this right triangle, and put it over here onto the side. So I have my right triangle, and again, this is what is exactly inside of that cylinder at the moment. Okay, so here's our right triangle. This side length is what we don't know. Now notice this right here has created that right angle, meaning this is the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is this 50-meter value. Right here we have 12 meters. Okay, so now from here, just like from day 1 and 2, we're going to continue using the Pythagorean theorem. So first step, of course, is to write out a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Very important to know when doing Pythagorean theorem. All right, we are now given our a value right here is what we're going to say is our unknown. Our b value, this leg, is 12. And then hypotenuse, that diagonal going through here, that hypotenuse is 50. All right, so now we're going to go to our equation and we're going to plug in what we know. So a, we don't know, so we just write a squared. B is 12, so then 12 squared. C is 50, 50 squared. All right, so then from here, we are going to go ahead and square these values. So 12 squared, 144. 50 squared, 2,500. Now bring down the rest. All right, now from here, since you're trying to find your leg, you will now subtract that 144 from both sides. All right, so 2,500 minus 144. Again, you can use calculators. That's going to give you 2,356. Bring down what we haven't used, so this a squared. Now from here, as we know, our last step is to find that square root. Okay, so I'm going to find my square root here, so that will make it just a. Okay, find your square root here. Okay, so whenever you find the square root, it's not going to be a whole number, you will get a decimal. Okay, and here we're going to round it to the nearest hundredth. So now I have 48 and 54 hundredths. And then notice in the directions, we're using meters. All right, so then when it asks how high the wheat silo is, your answer would be 48 54/100ths of a meter. All right, thank you guys for listening to day 3. If you notice at the bottom of your page, there are these 2 examples for you to go ahead and work through. You will use a very similar process. Make sure you identify if you're finding a leg or a hypotenuse. And then, as always, we have these extra activities and a video if you have any more questions or need extra help. All right, I hope you guys have an excellent rest of your day.